Welcome to the Better Two podcast. I'm your host, Donna. Today's guest is Bren Holmes. Bren is a Los Angeles-based singer-songwriter guitar player who has a solo record out called Rush to the Start Line. This is a sophomore record. But back in the 80s, he was based in Dublin, and he had a dream of coming to the States, and he did so. But that's a story that we talk about in the podcast. So tune in. Hi, Bren. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing fine, thank you very much.
Good.
Sure.
So you are out in LA, correct?
I am.
Where
I'm out in Los
it's
Angeles. This is
just
the blistering
terrible.
74 degrees, yes.
Just terrible weather. You see, if I was in 74, I would
Well,
not be wearing a long sleeve. Yeah,
not my
this is
hoodie.
I have a friend who lives in Florida. Her son, it got in the 40s, and he has like full face mask on and everything. And I'm like, dude, no, this is not.
I just closed my door only because it's just was this noise out there, dogs barking and stuff. It wasn't because it was so warm, yeah. So
So,
I'll tell you my sympathies for you in Chicago.
I live here. I've lived here for 30 years. Some
Represent,
winters it's great. Some winters it's not so great.
represent. I don't know if you can read this or not.
Los Angeles, yeah, nice, very
So
nice.
the symbols there.
I see that. There's nothing wrong with that. So, you are a guitar player, obviously, because look at all the guitars behind you.
Oh yeah, I've got a few. I've got my bass guitar. Yeah, oh yeah, they're all over the place. Yes, this is my little music room. Yeah,
Your
this is
music
where it
room.
all happens.
This is where the magic happens, as they would say. So you are not originally from Los Angeles, though,
No, from Dublin, Ireland.
and the weather's not always great there.
No, it's like Chicago. Actually, yeah, a lot of
Yes.
rain, a lot of rain.
So, what made you decide to move to Los Angeles? I know music, obviously, but what made you
Yeah,
really gave you that push to say, okay, I'm doing this? Because that's a lot to pack up your life and say, I'm moving overseas and here I am.
it really was. Yeah, just young and decided the opportunities were here. They weren't in Ireland. I mean, that changed over the years with YouTube being on the scene. It helped a bit, put Ireland on the map for music. But yeah, it was just the opportunity of coming to Los Angeles. We had a band. I had a band back together with the singer of the Young Dubliners. We had a little pop band together, and we had a dream. His sister was over here, so we moved over here within 6 months of each other, and just trying to get a band off the ground here. It didn't go very well. That's another story.
Oh yeah.
But that's
Well,
the dream to come to America, of course, yes.
and then the back then Ireland had a lot of strife going on too.
Yes, we were on. Yeah. We were like almost like a third world country before we joined the EU. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
most people don't think about
Times
that.
were really bad. Yeah, the economy was terrible. Yeah, everybody immigrated. We were a nation of immigrants. Now people are immigrating to Ireland.
Yes. A lot of people I know want to go over to Ireland from here.
Yeah.
So, being an immigrant, how do you feel about what's going on here? Are you still wanting to stay here? Or are you thinking maybe I need to go back home?
Well, a dream some days to be, to have a. I think that the best place would be, have a house in Ireland, have a house here. That'd be the dream. But no, I'm fine here in California.
And I understand that because I mean, there's times like I'm originally from New Orleans, but I've lived here for
Oh,
40 years almost.
yeah,
And it's like, yeah, there's certain things I miss, like the food.
sure, yeah, the food, yeah, food and drinks,
Yeah.
Guinness.
Yeah. I mean, that's the home of Guinness. So Guinness
Yes,
here so let me ask you this as a true Irish native, is Guinness different here in the States than
yeah,
it is there?
yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't. They say it doesn't travel well, but there's more alcohol in the one in Ireland too. So that's probably that probably helps a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit in the water. I don't know what it is, because they do have. I think they do distill it in and distill brew it in Connecticut. I do believe on the East Coast. Maybe the water's different there. I don't know.
And that comes into play a lot.
Slightly.
Nobody thinks about that, but it does because water sources have different
I
minerals in
mean,
it. And
yeah, and the ingredients too. Probably they're locally sourced in Ireland than they are here.
so
So
you
yeah.
you you come over here, you start this pop band, the pop band doesn't do well, and then you end up forming another band that you stick with until 2019, and then you decide, hey,
Yeah,
I'm going
playing
to be a
Irish.
solo artist.
Yeah, playing Irish rock music. Yeah. Never, it was the last thing on my mind was to play Irish rock music. I didn't particularly care for it growing up. And it's only when I guess when I stood back from it, you realize, oh, well, and there's a huge market for here, the Irish American community. So yeah, I did that for like 28 years. Wrote stuff, performed it, did nine albums,
Wow.
toured around the world with it. And it's only yeah, my first album, if you it kind of hints that I did Irish stuff with my latest album, I kind of moved away from it.
Yes, you did. That's your new album is very diverse. A
Yeah.
rush to the start line, which I wanted to ask you why that? I mean, especially because this is your second album. I can understand maybe the title if it was your first album, but why the title this time?
Because it's basically saying, yeah, trying to get a solo career off the ground after having success with my last band. Now I'm on my own. It's a different ballgame. The first album was called Everything You Never Wanted.
Fair, fair.
So,
So
yeah,
how stressful is it that I mean, you obviously had some success in your other band, and so you leave the band, and now, especially because you launched this record in 2019, and then we had the pandemic. So I've talked
yeah,
to several artists that it's like, yeah, we had these deals going, we were going to tour, and then nothing.
yep,
So I mean, that kind of fits the title of your second record because it's like, yeah, here I am, I'm ready to go, and sorry.
yep. It's getting harder and harder for bands to. I'm sure, like I said, for bands to tour, for the bands to make money, to get paid for performing. It's like musicians are like the afterthought, and something needs to be done about it. It's terrible. AI is, of course, trying to take over everywhere too. And the only place you can make money is by touring, is by selling merchandise at a live and getting paid for live performance. That's it. There's not unless you're huge, like what's your name?
Which is scary when you
Uh,
think about it because it's like this, I can look back at my old concert tickets. The very first concert I went to was Olivia Newton-John, and it was like,
You know, see, yeah.
yeah, and then it was like $12.50. Even Live Aid, because I got to go there, it was a
You
fifty
did.
dollar. Yeah, it was a 50. I won the contest. I didn't pay for the ticket, but face value on the ticket was $50. $50 to see all those bands. Now, can you imagine
Yeah.
how much that would be?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I just saw Garbage, the band Garbage said that they can't tour in the Midwest anymore.
No.
They can do the coast and that's it. It's too expensive for them.
And
But yeah,
I've noticed that with bands not coming to Chicago.
yeah, it's sad, and I want to get out there. I'm working with getting an agent together. So that's the hard thing is getting an agent and getting out there. Obviously, I can use the coattails of my old band to say who I am and stuff, but it's still very hard, and trying to get airplay and trying to make video. Basically, your own record label, everything combined in one is what I'm doing. I
And
just
I
did my ads. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just did an ad for my on Photoshop. Doing my ad. I'm working on on AI for a part of a video. Shoot my own videos and stuff. So
But see, that's the fine line because a lot of people are rejecting AI now. As
yeah,
an
no, it's
as
just a little animation within the
Right.
video. Me in the
Well,
video. Yeah.
well, and what I'm getting at is like, even as an author, it's like because that's what I do. That's my side hustle. But AI has infected that. AI infected
Oh yeah.
has infected podcasting, and there's a lot of pushback, especially in the author world, the writing world, that
Oh
if you even
yeah.
have an AI cover or you're using AI to do your ads,
Yeah.
they're rejecting it.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
scary thing because you have to find a balance where there's generative AI is the problem. It's not so much the other things, it's the generative
Right.
AI.
Right. Right.
The theft
I
maker.
Right, yeah, I do I'm a photographer on the side, and this AI is crippling that too. It's like I don't know which way to turn.
And for what? And for what? Because this is part of your creativity and part of who you are, whether
Right.
it's photography or music, it's still part of creating.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to talk a little bit about the record. So
Yeah,
you did a song about the topsy-turvy life of Sinead O'Connor. And is
yeah.
that because you know, she was when you think of Irish singers, you think of Sinead. But
Um,
is that why you did it, or was it just because you just connected with her on some other level?
I can after she passed away, it just says something that it just hit me. It really hit me. It's like, oh my God, such a talent, and what she was talking about all along, she was right. 99.9% of the time, she was right. People that were listening to her, I was one of them. Guilty. I even sang the song. I I watched you weeping. I sympathized, but I never wiped your tears. Meaning, like you didn't really care what you were saying. And it only after the fact all this stuff came out, documentaries about these. I don't know if you heard about like children putting into orphanages with nuns and stuff and died, taken away from young kids that have kids. It was all buried. The
Hmm.
Catholic Ireland, it's like, and she was talking about all that stuff and she was writing about it. So I had no idea where it came from after she passed. I was writing that particular song about something. I was just an idea, and then it just came to me one night, like, oh my God, I should be writing about her. I think it's to give her some honor.
But in a roundabout way, there's some things that are being hidden right now that are coming to light sideways because everything's been redacted in certain files.
Right.
Um, but there's other people that are stepping forward with information that is making it even more horrific than we even realized.
Mhm.
So I
Absolutely.
think by doing what you're doing and people starting to wake up and recognize that maybe the horrors of the world are way worse than we ever thought.
Yeah, yeah. I did heard hints of it, growing up in Ireland, but it's only stepped away and was over here. As you know, on time, it always starts oozing out, it's
Hmm.
creeping out bit by bit. But she was talking about that, and then I think back, oh yeah, that and that. Like, okay, yeah, she was right.
I mean,
So
when
yeah,
you think about her Saturday Night Live appearance and her ripping the
yeah.
picture, we don't, at the time, it was like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
And now it's like,
yeah. That's nothing. That's
no,
nothing
no.
nowadays.
And it's a shame because sometimes when people speak the truth, they're basically ostracized and treated as,
Absolutely. Yeah. And so many people like, got down on it very, very quickly, a lot of celebrities and stuff like. But she was like, I'd love to talk to them now and ask them, so what do you think now?
yeah. Well,
She was right.
there's a model, Karen Mulder, who was very popular in the late 80s and 90s, and she started complaining about sexual abuse.
All
And
right. Yeah.
they locked her away in a mental institution because they would not believe her. Everybody was
Yeah.
saying she was a liar, but we all know the truth eventually came out about John Casablanca's organization.
Oh yeah.
And
I dated a model that told me the same thing. She was very young, like sent to Milan when she was like 16. It's
mhm,
the story she was telling me. Like, yeah, I believe it.
yeah,
Absolutely.
but we all want to look at things and go, no, 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 that didn't
She
happen.
was with elite models, actually.
Well, that's the organization he ran. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Her name will be redacted, but
So when we look at Need Some Time, what inspired that?
need some time. Yeah, I just thought, well, why not write a song in the perspective of Mother Earth talking to humanity? So I just thought it was a good twist on words, and like if the Earth could talk to humanity and what we're doing to the Earth. Now I'm no activist or anything, but I know it's not good to sustain what we're doing.
No, and it goes back to that AI topic too. Because when you look at the data centers about how we're polluting the air and the
Water.
water, and
I
for
don't want.
what?
Yeah.
To see a cat do something that it's not supposed to do anyway? Or to see somebody fly a
Very
plane and drop shit everywhere?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, we're harming the environment. It's like you don't have to necessarily be an environmentalist to look around and go, wait a second, maybe we need to make some changes.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I'm not an extremist, but I think it's just common sense. Like we can't sustain this. We're polluting with plastics, especially plastic is the worst. We all have plastic inside of us. We know that. Yeah, this time people have heard it. That, oh, it's a lovely song. It's a lovely song. It's a breakup song, right? With no, it's not a breakup song. Well, it indirectly kind of is. But I think it's a love song. But
Well, sometimes when you have all these volcanoes and earthquakes and everything, maybe, the world is trying to break up with us.
very true,
I
very
always
true.
like the analogy. It's like we're like Earth is a dog and we are the fleas and Earth is trying
Please.
to shake us off.
It's a good analogy. It's a good song there. There's a song in there.
I'm sure. And you're the songwriter, so there you go.
Okay. Might run with that.
Fine. It's
I'll
free
give you
will.
credit. I'll give you credit. Don't worry. I'll give you credit.
No credit needed because I don't even somebody else said it. So, when we
Yeah.
when we look up The Way, I wanted to talk about that for a second. The Way has this big sound to it, where the other ones don't have necessarily. Some of them have a folky sound, but most of
Mhm.
the tracks are all different. But the Way has this
Yeah,
bigger sound to it. Why?
yeah.
What made you decide to go in that direction with that song?
It's so funny. It's a good story. That song got me signed to a sync licensing agency, believe it or not. And I just thought, it's a little ditty pop song. Didn't think much of it, but you just never know. I'm glad that you brought up. I try to not write cookie cutter songs. Like, everything is different. That's great. Love to hear that because different people like different tracks on the album. So it's a mishmash. I love that. No, it was. I just had written a whole brass section for it, and I wrote it on a keyboard, and I said, "This has got to have the brass section. It can't be just on guitar or something like that riff." So yeah, I went big with it.
But that's the thing.
I
It's
hired
like
a brass section. Yeah.
big music. It moves you. It inspires you. It makes you want to get up and move.
Yeah, it's a feel good song, it's about the song is actually about touring, just touring around the world and like you missing your loved one. And actually thinking of doing a video for it but for pets and everybody chime in and holding their pets singing the chorus. If they have a dog, cat, giraffe, I don't care what they have. We'll put it all together on the screens and have people sing along to it.
That
So
would be
that
cute.
yes, so it's the way I feel about you. So yeah, I think a cat or a dog, but somebody with their pet, not necessarily a loved one, a human being. It's a bit of a twist to it.
But this brings up a valid. You brought up, touring. So let's talk about that for a second. And I understand now touring is different. What was it like
Hard.
touring when as a younger man? I mean, touring as an older person is different than touring as a
Yeah, not
younger
that
man.
old.
Well, I'm not saying you are, but
I'm kidding. Oh my God.
you look fine. You look fine. Um,
I kid.
but you
Yeah,
understand, touring as a younger person, you have different ideals, different views. You
absolutely.
have
Yeah.
more stamina.
Absolutely, yeah, the whole world ahead of you, yeah, yeah. No, it's definitely hard. I haven't done as much as I did then, so I don't know what it's going to be like. But it'll be more on my terms this time. But it was very tough. Yeah, obviously good and bad days. You'll have stays at airports for 12 hours. You miss flights, get canceled. This not losing. You do a show, you get back to the hotel 1 in the morning, and you're up again at like 6 or 7 a.m. to drive to the next show. So there's a lot of that stuff, losing sleep, not eating right. Now as I got older, definitely was less partying, more about sleep and eating healthy. So you make it work.
Well, and also as a younger person, you have the stage high you got to deal with. You're coming off the stage and you can't go to sleep right away, even though
No,
you
you
only
can.
had this
You got
light.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You got adrenaline. You want to stay up and, you go to some of the guys who go to I used to do it, go to after hours, you go to a pub somewhere, start drinking. Good God, no, 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 no.
Yeah. As you get older, that just
I
doesn't.
already,
Yeah.
I already sleep, eat, exercise. You still party a
But
little bit.
the party is different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 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 yes.
And I mean, also touring, I think now you would have a more, if you have the luxury of time, you have more of appreciation to go and see the city instead of, okay, I'm going to sleep in because I have got a hangover and I got to get
Well,
to the show the next day.
that's what I used to do. I feel as a
Hmm.
photographer now. I would be walking the city. That's all I do when I get there. All my photography, that's what I do. All from all around the world. I'm able to sell pictures and stuff. I have tons of pictures. That was my thing. Yeah, to explore the city. Even though I'd be there for one day, you make the most of it. And don't worry about the sleep later. Yeah, when you're younger. But yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
you're burning the candle at both ends, basically. Yeah.
But we all do. And because we realize, we think at that point in our life, we're invincible.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Slow down a little bit, but if I get the tour, it might happen. And I'm dying to get back on the road and promote these songs and get out there. So maybe
So
somebody out there.
where would you like to tour this year?
I mean, there's nowhere I don't want to tour.
Have you
Everywhere.
have you thought about doing with some smaller artists and even a couple fewer larger artists have done, which is living room shows?
Yeah, I need to invest my time into. I did start looking at that like last year, and then I forgot about it. If you know anybody, let me know.
I really don't, but that doesn't mean it,
Somebody,
somebody
yeah,
listening. I
somebody
have
listen.
I have a
Big
German
commitment.
audience that usually listens.
Good. I want to play Germany. I toured Germany with my old band. We did about, I think, 15 cities with a band called Jethro Tull. I'm sure you're familiar with. So we
Jethro,
toured
who?
all over you.
Who?
We toured all over Europe with Jethro Tull. But Germany has a huge Irish population, a load of Irish bars. So yeah, I will go anywhere. On my own, as a duet, or with a band. I've got three different choices.
So when we talk about the song "Dreamin'," is that the dreams of a young man or the dreams of your life now?
I kind of wrote it because I don't know, took it from all places. It's kind of a guy looking at his loved one falling asleep beside him, and she's moving, rap REM's happening, kind of
Hmm.
stuff, and seeing what he's imagining what she's dreaming about is basically. So I mentioned, like, the stereotypes of dreams, obviously the dolly, dolly
Hmm.
line, the pictures melting, the white rabbit, with Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, that's nothing too deep about it.
Well,
Yeah.
since you're talking about, so my late husband, when I'm laying down, we're sleeping one night, and he wakes me up out of a sound sleep because he has to say really loudly, "Set phasers on purr."
What?
I woke him up. I'm like, "What are you dreaming about?" I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
like, we
Yeah.
had that. We had
Kind of like that.
I
Yeah.
discovered the black pearl. But my favorite is him thinking that he is in an arena, sitting on
Yeah.
the row, but the stairs, and he decides that he has to roll out of the way to get out of somebody's way, and he rolls himself out of the bed. So dreaming is not always a
Oh,
good thing.
no, no, no. So yeah, that's where it came from. Is the melody I'd had. And it turned out really nice, and it builds. I don't know if it builds very slowly to a big crescendo at the end. But yeah, that's what it's about basically.
So how often do melodies come to you at the weirdest times, whether it be driving, in the shower, or sleep? Waking up from a dead sleep.
You name it. It's never really in my sleep sometimes, and I should do the old. I used to. I should do it. And a lot of musicians do. They have a pen and paper, or they have their memo on their phone nowadays. It's the new thing on your nightstand. And Paul McCartney would always. I think he mentioned that's the he wrote. Not Hey Jude. What one was it? Mother Mary comes to me. Let it be. Let it
Hmm.
be. He, he woke up during the night, whatever. And I thought it was somebody else's song, the melody. But yeah, I have my memo.
Smart.
Memo
Hmm.
on the phone. I could go through we could spend like hours going through all these ideas that happen all the time. They come at the weirdest places. They really do. I hike a lot in the park here. Right. I'll go there and listen to ideas and get more ideas, but they come from nowhere. It's a beautiful gift, I guess. You
Well,
know,
it's
it,
it's being
it,
it's being connected.
yeah, and it's getting the ideas, but then making them into a song. Let's take it to the next. That's the hard part because you'll have tons of ideas. It's connecting to, like, oh, I have a great verse. I have a crappy chorus. Like, I have a great chorus, shitty verse. It's like, ugh! So that's the frustration of it. It's stitching it all together to make it a song. No, I come up with melodies every day. I'm constantly hearing noise, hear a door squeak. Oh, there's a melody there.
But see, for me, I understand that because for me, dialogue or storyline comes to me. But that's much
Yeah.
easier to put somewhere and put in a little piece instead of having to place music with verse with the yeah, that's a lot
Right.
more complicated.
Yeah, the words are always the challenging part to me. I'm very worried that people are watching words. Some people say people don't listen to lyrics anymore. But I feel they do. I want to be somewhat make an attempt at it. That feels my weakness. I worry about that the most. The music can come easily, usually. If it does, great. But the words are always the hard part for me.
And that may be true, the statement about people don't listen to words as much as they used to, but the thing is, when they need to listen to words,
Yeah,
that's when it matters.
yeah, yeah. It is nice to yeah, absolutely. If it means if someone comes away with some meaning out of it, get some feeling from it, that great. That's wonderful. I love to hear that. Yeah. So it was worth it in the end.
Exactly. It's the connection between you and the listener. you
Yeah.
and the audience.
Oh, I love that song you wrote like that about the I don't know if you've done. I've got a completely wrong idea of a song. But, oh, I love that song. It was so beautiful. About that, if you broke a heart. Like, no, I wrote that about the transmission in my car. But whatever you got from it, that's okay. I was working on my car. That's what that song's about. Like, what?
Yeah, you gotta
That's how you interpret it. Yeah,
let the fantasy, let them have their fantasy.
exactly. Yeah.
It's I have a character that I've been told is the vilest character that they've ever read, which this was years ago. And then I
Mhm.
have some women are like, "Oh, he's just misunderstood."
Yeah. Okay. No.
Okay, you do whatever you need to do to reconcile the character. I wrote him. You play with him however
Empathy for
you
your
want.
villain, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you wanted to think about him, you do that. I resign. And I think that's the same thing with music. At a certain point, you put the baby out, and everybody else interprets it the way they need to.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, I
So,
agree.
what's your favorite song on the record?
My favorite song. I was going to ask you that, but okay, well, I'll go first. God, I've done all my babies. You see, that's the
Yeah, I
thing.
know how that works. Uh-huh.
Look at the CD. I mean, Gloria is my favorite, but the other ones are starting to grow on me more. Gloria is, which is going to be coming out as a single too. There's the first track. Did you have
And
a favorite? No.
do I?
Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite? Yes. I mean, there was a couple that I really liked. I liked Need Some Time. I liked Ordinary World. Uh,
Yeah,
Shine Up Beat, Dreamin'. I mean, these were the five songs that actually stood out to me. And the way those all kind of stood out to me, and they were all very different. And that's one thing for me as a listener. I like music that is not the same. I don't want to put on a record and hear the exact same song over and over and over again.
right.
Um,
Which
so,
Yeah, which is common. Yeah, that's what you hear. That's why a few of my friends call me up and go, "Congratulations, your sophomore album has blown away your second album. It's better." And like, great, it's different. There's no two songs are the same. So I don't deliberately. That's just the way I write. I'm sure the next album's go. Oh, that sounds like some other track. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's going to happen.
but do you think it's because this album you had more of a footing? It's like, okay, I put one album out. I did the solo thing for the first time, and this is now my second effort on it, and I'm more
Yeah,
comfortable being a solo artist. I'm not sitting here going, well, whatever, I'm more comfortable that this is what I want to do. Where the first one, did you
yeah.
have an idea or were you just throwing, you know, stuff to the wall to see what stuck?
No, the first one I had songs I had for years. So like I said, I never played with the band, or they didn't want them, or didn't like them, or whatever. They never came to fruition. The second one, yeah, I've had more time, had more material, and like, yeah, I want to get away from the Irish stuff a bit. Try and go what I grew up listening to. When you listen to here on the radio, here and back home. So
That's
yeah.
good. No, go ahead.
No, that's the direction I'm going in. The third album I'm already working on as we speak, and that's gonna be more the same. I think different stuff, but no real Irish stuff again. And I could come back around eventually, but
Well, do you feel like there's a reconciliation that you have to put through music as quick as possible? I mean, yes, you're releasing your second album, you're working on your third. When do you see the third coming out? Do you feel that you have to continually release singles, or have you the
yeah,
mindset of let me do the album and here we are?
no, you got to do singles. Yeah, you got to be prolific. Keep writing. Get the material. Get more and more. The more material I get out there, the better my chances of being heard, being seen. That's the way I look at it. Like I said, a rush to the start line.
It's
The third.
that's the craziness of the world we live in. While we have less gatekeepers, now you
Yeah,
have to have more content,
yeah, yeah. I just want to keep writing, and I want to have a huge set, of original music. So,
and that's important. So, if you
yeah.
could play anywhere in the world, what would your dream gig be, and who would the dream artist be that you would work with?
Yeah. It was hard to open it first. Yeah, I wouldn't mind touring with Coldplay in at the LA Coliseum. Not the Coliseum. No, there we go. There we go. Madison Square Garden. Oh God, you throw me because there's so many artists I love. I'm just totally
So,
blank on them right now. But Coldplay is one I like. Their pop music, whoever, You love or you hate them,
Hmm.
That's one band. Lord Huron, I'd love to play with those guys. You know those guys?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, from Michigan.
Okay. No, I do not know them.
Check those guys out. They're amazing. Lord Huron, like in Lake Huron. Yeah,
Hmm.
amazing. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to play with Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
You-
Yeah. Jeff Buckley was very good.
But yeah, I play Dodger Stadium with the Coldplay. I'll open up for them anytime.
Nice, nice. So, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like to add?
Um, no, just with the social stuff. If people want to follow me, where they can find me. But I think you do that. Do you do that? Do I
Yes,
do
I do that. No, I do that. It's all in the show links and it's there for them
that?
to click on and
Yeah,
check
I have a
out.
bunch of videos out there. I have a bunch of videos there on YouTube. Working on more as we come. I
Awesome.
hope to get out to a town near you. Come find me. Come follow
Awesome.
me. Find me. Make me famous.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Don.
So, Bren, when we were talking, it's interesting because for me, when I have, I wake up in the middle of the night or I am driving, I definitely return my phone and I record whatever information is provided, such as, you know, we're going to have, this scene would be better. And I've talked about this before. The end of my first book, it was like I'm driving my husband to dialysis, and it's like, oh, no, 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 no. You think you're done. We're not. You're not. I got a better idea, and we're going to show you what that idea is. And so you say all the information out that you need to, and then you come back and then you write it out. For me, it's easy because, well, it's just dialogue or description or it's words. That's it. As a musician, and you don't really think about this, as a musician, you have lyrics, you have all the instruments you want to use, you have the melody, you have the chorus. And when these bits of information come to you, then you have to piece it all together. So it's a much bigger puzzle. Now, for me, yeah, I have characters that will give me a scene from a book that's 6, 7 books away. But it's up to me to decipher that. And as a musician, I would think that's much, much harder. When we talk about, the song Ordinary World, when he was talking about the fact that Sinead O'Connor, that it was about her and that we didn't pay attention. And I think that's a lot of things that's coming up right now in the world is that there's things that we kind of, I don't want to say took for granted, but we didn't want to believe because it was kind of one of those things where it's harder to think about, to wrap your head around it. And recently I had, I don't want to say a memory because I know this, I've never forgotten it. And I reframed this even in the mid 2000s. But it's funny because I've come to the realization that I never really analyzed this, never really healed from it, never really unpacked it. And when I do now, it has a different meaning. It's like I'm being forced to face those feelings and it's hard to explain, and I'm just gonna say it. Back in the early '90s, late '80s, there was a time I got in a conversation with my stepfather, and I was 20, 21 years old, and my stepfather said something, and I said something back, and for a long time, I would say that we had a physical altercation. It was never anything that was unpacked. It was always it was a physical altercation because my mind would not allow me to think of it any other way. His hands were around my throat. And when I look at that, when I fast forward to when I started to being able, when my mind allowed me to really see these things, I was watching an SVU unit episode, and they basically were the same situation happened. I watched this girl get thrown up against the wall. The hands are around the throat of her, and she's talking about this after the fact. And someone says, "Well, that was attempted murder." And I remember pausing for a second, going, "How did I never frame it that way?" I mean, even after this happened, my mother looked at me and said, "Well, if you call the police and he wants to throw you out, then I can't do anything." Which that's a whole nother thing to unpack. But my mind would not allow me to look at it as anything else than a physical altercation. As I unpack that, as I said, after watching that episode, it was like, well, truthfully, that was because when somebody's hands are around your throat and not into some kink, they're not there to, as my husband would say about anything, they're not there to bake you a cake. They're not there to be useful. They're not there to be helpful. What was his intention behind that? His hands around my throat were to show, his violent tendency. He wanted to harm me. And so it took me time to process that. Well, now 10 years later, this has been brought back up to me, and I think this is kind of like the Sinead thing, because she said something, we didn't buy it. Eventually she was deemed this way, but the truth is now coming out, and we look at this and go, well, in that horrific matter of, oh my gosh. So for me, I'm now unpacking this, looking at it and going, did you actually heal from this? Did you actually grieve from this? Did you actually face it? And the truth of the matter is, and a lot of times when we're going through that trauma, we don't. And so going back to the song and going back to the point is, there are times when our minds will not allow us to absorb this information and unpack it and see it for what it really is. We just kind of go, okay, well, that happened and let's go. And I don't want to think bad of somebody else. I don't want to imagine them to be such a horrific person, because if I do, then that is going to repulse me. That's going to make me have doubts about everything. But the fact is, sometimes we have to strip down to the truth. And that's the only reason I brought up the stepfather thing, is because I've watched it for me personally go from one thing to another thing, to really realizing that you haven't faced this and dealt with it. And for the song, when you look at the song, it's like, in a way, it speaks truth. He's embracing that. He's seeing that she was right. He's seeing the truth of it and dealing with it in his own way. So I know that may seem crazy for some of you, but if you have a trauma that you haven't dealt with, if you brushed it over, if it's like, we don't want to speak ill of the dead. But if somebody was a bastard to you, then you need to look at that and try to heal those wounds. You can't sit there and sugarcoat and say, oh, they were wonderful. See the person for who they truly are, because that's where the healing begins. And I'm not saying you have to hate them. I'm not saying you have to, burn an effigy of them. What I'm saying is, face it, look at it. I love my dad's mom, my mama. I do. She was a great woman to me as a kid. As an adult, I saw who she really was. And as of this past year, my aunt allowed me to see even more of who she was that I never experienced. And so look for the truths. Look for the truth of the situation. Look for the truths of the world. And if you can do that through music, i.e. the song, then do so. Because, and honestly, ordinary world, there's many interpretations of that. What is your ordinary world? What is your life like? And how do you unpack it? Because my ordinary world is not what you see here. My ordinary world's different. And I think that's the thing that we don't realize. What we show people of ourselves in the world is not always what our real world looks like. We wear a mask. We wear a mask to fit in. We wear a mask to hide who we are. And sometimes we need to show the truth of who we are, the truth of a situation. And that's how you move forward and heal. And sometimes, even if we have a band that we have been with forever, sometimes we need to branch out on our own and do our own thing and beat to our own drum. And realize that we can't please everybody, that we have to do what we need to do for us. And that's part of healing, which goes back to the whole circle of what I was talking about facing things. So today, find something that you haven't faced and have hope. Have hope to follow your dreams. Have hope to pursue what you want to do. And if you know somebody that needs a band, that listens to Bren's record and absolutely loves it and wants to have him come over and play it for you, then reach out to him or reach out to his agent. But on that note, I thank Bren for coming on. I thank, Fast Susie for the intro and outro music. And most importantly, I like to thank you for listening to my long ramble and for tuning into the podcast. I greatly appreciate it. I had my doubts whether I was going to come back this year and do it, but here I am. And I still enjoy it. And that's the reminder I need, is that I enjoy doing this. So thank you for tuning in, because it really means a lot. And if you love the show, if you like the show, tell your friends, leave a review. Any support you can do for the show, well, I greatly appreciate it. And well, as always, I'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.